He looked back 3 times. Was Jungkook waiting for someone who never came? Did the world miss the quietest heartbreak ever caught on camera? In an era where every blink of a BTS member can launch 1,000 theories, Dispatch dropped a video that has ignited a slow-burning wildfire across fandom spaces, this time not with explosive drama, but with something far more fragile. A hesitation. A glance. A moment so subtle it might have been ignored if it wasn't Jungkook. July 7th, 2025. Incheon International Airport. Suga, Jimin, and Jungkook were set to depart for Los Angeles, marking a pivotal moment for BTS, their first visible regrouping since the completion of military service. Everything seemed in order. The cameras were waiting. Security was tight. The boys arrived with practiced poise, their fashion carefully curated, their path cleared. But then, just before Jungkook disappeared into the gates, he looked back, once, twice, 3 times, and something about it didn't feel like a fan service glance. It wasn't the usual wave, nor a check for luggage or team staff. It was slower, heavier, the way someone turns when they expect, hope, to see a face they're still waiting for, and the person never came. The internet, of course, erupted. Who was he looking for? The theories began piling up like dominoes in a storm, and they weren't without substance. Dispatch's high-definition footage showed Jungkook walking just a few steps behind Jimin. His posture, relaxed but not disengaged. His head slightly tilted, not in awareness of fans, but in distraction. Then came the first glance. Just as he passed through the outer security line, a quick turn over the shoulder. Empty. Then again, when he paused for what seemed like a message from a manager. But instead of responding, he looked beyond the person talking to him, eyes scanning the space behind the camera crews. Still no one. And then one last look. The third one. This time slower, with his lips briefly parting as if he was about to say something, but didn't. The moment ended. He turned. He walked through the gate. But the questions, they've only just begun. The immediate speculation? Taeyong. It's no secret that Jungkook and V, once inseparable in the eyes of fans, have seemed unusually distant these past few months. Ever since that fateful Paris trip, where Taeyong made headlines for his exclusive appearance at a luxury event, and Jungkook was spotted arriving at the airport just hours after without saying a word, their interactions have been minimal. Fans noted the lack of social media interactions. No behind-the-scenes banter. No birthday shoutouts. No live streams like the ones they used to do where laughter flowed like music and their comfort with each other felt unshakable. Was Jungkook looking for V? Did he expect him to show up? Was there a plan for Taeyong to travel too? But something, personal or professional, got in the way? Or, as some fear, was Taeyong never supposed to be there at all? Then another theory emerged. Maybe Jungkook was waiting for a manager, one notably missing from the frame. Armies with eagle eyes noticed that one of the senior HYBE managers who often escorts Jungkook to overseas trips was not seen anywhere in the footage. Could it have been just logistical oversight? Or did something happen internally? Something that caused last-minute changes to the team's composition, and then came the third, and perhaps most whispered, theory. That Jungkook wasn't looking for anyone in the industry, but someone from outside, someone personal. Was it a silent goodbye? Was he waiting for a signal, a glimpse, a text that never came? Someone who promised to see him off but didn't show. The glances weren't dramatic. They weren't choreographed. And that's what makes them powerful, because when someone like Jungkook, who has been trained for over a decade to move like a machine in public, shows unscripted hesitation, you feel it. Even if you don't know why. And the fans did feel it. Across social media, the tag #he looked back 3 times trended in over 18 countries. Some fans posted fan art of Jungkook looking into an empty corridor. Others wrote threads comparing the body language from past airport footage, showing how this moment broke the pattern. Many highlighted that even in the busiest times of his career, Jungkook never once looked that distracted until now. And as the conversation deepened, so did the emotions, because beneath every theory, Taeyong, a manager, a secret someone, there was one unshakable truth echoing in the hearts of fans. Jungkook looked like he was missing something. Or someone. Could it just be sentimentality? After all, this isn't just another trip. It's the first move in BTS's long-awaited return, a symbolic start of a next era. Could it be that Jungkook, known for his deep attachment to the group's past, simply felt the absence of members who weren't there? RM, Jin, J-Hope, Taehyung? Was the moment less about waiting for one person and more about grieving what used to be? We don't know, but the weight of it remains. And then, another unexpected development on the flight to Los Angeles. Jungkook did not sit with Jimin or Suga. Leaked seating charts, anonymously posted and verified by fan reports on the ground, suggest he was placed alone in a private section of the jet. HYBE has not commented on this arrangement, but fans have already drawn lines between this isolation and his triple glance at the airport. Is this strategic solitude for rest, or a reflection of something deeper? And once in LA, Jungkook has been noticeably silent. While Jimin updated fans via Weverse just hours after landing, Jungkook posted nothing. No story, no selka, no hint that he had even arrived, which is strange, because Jungkook, for all his introversion, has always been the one to check in, even in quiet ways. A photo of his hand, a shot of the sky, a scribbled purple heart on a black screen. But now, nothing, and in that silence, the questions get louder. What is he feeling? Who was he looking for? Was it someone who had walked away, or someone who never intended to stay? Or, perhaps most tragically, was it someone who simply didn't know he'd be waiting? Sometimes, the biggest emotions are the ones that arrive with no sound, a glance, a pause, a breath held too long. 3 looks, and the world keeps spinning. But we saw it, and we won't forget, because in that quiet moment at Incheon, Jungkook said everything without saying a word, and someone, somewhere, should have been there to answer, but they weren't. And now the only thing left is the silence between the lines. So we ask again, who is Jungkook waiting for, and why didn't they come? The world may never know, but Jungkook does, and maybe that's enough to break your heart. And maybe that's why he hasn't looked back since, because when someone waits 3 times, in front of thousands of fans, cameras flashing, security pulling at his sleeves, the stakes are no longer just about missing a person. They're about expecting them to care enough to show up. And when they don't, you don't try a 4th time. You walk forward, but walking forward doesn't mean forgetting, and it definitely doesn't mean healing. In the hours that followed the release of Dispatch's footage, fandom platforms exploded not just with theories, but with grief. Grief over something unspoken, something not confirmed, but felt. A shift in Jungkook, a shift in energy. Not just sadness, but detachment. Some even described it as a sense of quiet resignation, as if Jungkook no longer expects the things he used to wait for. The clips were re-uploaded by fans with slow motion, music overlays, and freeze frames at each glance. He's not looking back. One caption reads, "He's realizing no one's coming." That single sentence, shared over 300,000 times in under a day, has become the unofficial thesis of this mysterious moment, and it raises even more questions. Was Jungkook promised something? Was someone supposed to be there at the gate? Was there a plan that changed? Some netizens pointed to Taehyung's sudden silence online, noting that the last time he posted anything, his brief appearance in Paris, was over a week ago. Others pointed out that, just a few months prior, Taehyung and Jungkook had appeared to intentionally avoid each other during overlapping schedules in Seoul. At the time, fans dismissed it as coincidence. Now, the narrative feels heavier. But there's another possibility, and it's the one that hurts the most. What if Jungkook was never looking for someone who was supposed to come? What if he was hoping against hope, for someone he knew wouldn't be there? That changes everything, because it suggests not expectation, but yearning, a private wish, held silently, right up until the final moment before departure. And yet he looked. 3 times, like muscle memory, like hope refusing to die, and all the while, fans have been asking themselves a terrifying question they don't want to say out loud. What if Jungkook is lonely? Not because he's alone. He has members. He has army. He has the world watching him. But what if none of that fills the space he was glancing toward? What if the person who fills it is no longer by his side, whether due to distance, disagreement, or simply the passage of time? Fans began resurfacing clips from past years, moments where Jungkook waited at airports with clear excitement when V arrived, when they shared whispered conversations behind black masks, when Taeyong's late arrival still earned a grin from Jungkook every single time. Now, there was no arrival. No glance returned. No shadow on the horizon, just the echo of footsteps and Jungkook turning away. And then, something even stranger happened. Within 24 hours of the dispatch clip going viral, Jungkook's Weverse profile went blank. Not deleted, just emptied. No profile picture.
No bio.
No text. Some fans thought it was a glitch. Others were quick to point out the timing. When his name was trending worldwide alongside phrases like, "Who didn't show up?" and 3 times he looked, "Why did his official space go dark?" HYBE hasn't commented. And no statement from staff. No social media clarifications. But insiders on Twitter Spaces, some of whom claim to work within artist management, hinted that the team is nervous about fan interpretation. Not because Jungkook did anything wrong, but because what he didn't say is louder than anything he could. And Jimin, he walked beside Jungkook that day, smiling softly but never looked back. Did he know? Did he understand who his friend might be waiting for? Did he feel the absence in the air, the same way fans did? The silence from the members has only made things more intense. And not for the first time, ARMY finds itself trapped between what they see, what they think they see, and what no one is willing to confirm. This is the price of loving an idol like Jungkook. He gives everything on stage, but off stage. He guards his heart like a secret locked behind a smile. And in that silence, every micro-expression becomes a confession. Every pause becomes poetry. Every backward glance becomes a battlefield. And what's most heartbreaking isn't the theories. It's the truth they point to, that maybe, just maybe, the strongest among BTS is finally tired. Not physically, emotionally, tired of carrying expectations. Of being the golden one, of waiting in places where no one's coming. And yet he still looked, because that's who Jungkook is. Hope, even when there's no reason left. Trust, even when silence answers him. Loyalty, even when it's not returned the same way. S.O. if you ask, was he really waiting for someone who never came? The answer might not be yes or no. The answer might be, he already knew they weren't coming, but he looked anyway 0.3 times. Just in case, because hope doesn't die easy, especially not for someone like him, especially not when it used to mean everything. And now we wait, not just for answers, but for Jungkook to look forward again, not out of resignation, but because someone finally showed up when it mattered most. Who that someone is remains a mystery, but if you've been watching closely, you know the truth already. He wasn't looking for attention, he wasn't playing to the cameras. He was looking for someone, and someone wasn't there, but he loved them enough to check 0.3 times. Maybe that's all we need to know.